Hello and welcome back. Today I want to talk about a stable financial strategy. Um, when I'm talking about that, I mean there's all kinds of advice out there about investing and the way to go about finances. Well, I've got one too, and it's to make sure that you've got a good, solid, stable foundation before you look at investing at all. Uh, just like building a house. If your foundation is not stable and solid, there's no point in building the walls and putting the roof on because the likelihood of that house staying up for very long is not very good. It's if you don't have a stable foundation, the house is worthless. And actually, in a lot of instances, they will condemn a property that has a faulty foundation or foundation that is doomed. So it's vital to have a good solid foundation. Uh, Also, another analogy would be a car. If you have a good solid chassis or a foundational component of the vehicle, I mean, leather seats and a sunroof are nice, but they're not required to have a car. You do have to have a chassis, though. You've got to have something for that vehicle to be built on. Otherwise, there's no point in having the leather seats and the sunroof. Like it doesn't do you any good. So in finances, it's the same thing. You've got to have specific components in place before you try to build wealth. And building wealth is vital. Wealth accumulation is vital for finances. But if you don't have the if you don't have the what would it be you got to have the protection component in place as well. Otherwise, going after wealth accumulation can be I mean, you have a greater potential of losing it. So make sure your foundation is in place. It's you know it's the equals things out having the protection component in place and wealth accumulation in place. So I'm going to share my screen here, and we'll look at a few components. We are so as a wealth foundation, it's vital to have protection in place. And this might be, this is going to be asset protection. Asset protection. It's going to, in that, that might be life insurance. It might be property insurance. It generally insurance, something insurance based. And then you might also have protection components in place. As far as wealth goes, you might have LLCs established, a trust established for estate transfer, and all of those are protection components. So LLC, trust, um, so you've got protection components in place. That's a vital component. You've also got to have opportunity fund or some form of savings or opportunity fund. Because in order to take advantage of opportunities that are out there, you've got to have some opportunity fund. You've got to have money available to you or resources to get a hold of money. You might be able to just connect people and you're in between there. So you're almost a broker of deals. That's a good way to get started. However, having your own capital is even better. It'll allow you to take advantage of more opportunities, both from a return standpoint and simply, I mean, there are no lack of opportunities. It's only typically a lack of opportunity funds. So some form of savings or opportunity fund is vital. And then of course, reserves or emergency fund. Here in Utah, they call them emergency fund. It might be rainy day fund. But this gives you staying power. So you've got your protection components, you've got your liquidity, and you've got your reserves. That gives you staying power. And then once you've built your solid, stable foundation, then you can start to look for things like business opportunities. Maybe you want to start a business. So maybe we'll put business here. Maybe it's a business that you want to invest in, or someone else's business, but preferably something. Hell, not really. That wouldn't be that would be a little bit higher up on this as far as risk goes. But a business or even real estate. Real estate maybe again depending on how it's purchased. So this might be personally owned businesses. Let's put that here. Personally owned, meaning a business that you own and control, meaning real estate that you own uh, solely and control, or at least control solely. You may have a partnership with a bank because you've made a down payment, but again, you control that property. Going up here, this might be a syndication, or a syndicated real estate. It might be somebody else's business that you invest in. So business investment. It might be oil and gas. Typically this tier of investment. So this is going to be, if this is your foundation, this is going to be, um, the further up you go on this, uh, on this pyramid here, the more risk you take on, and the lower you are on this, the more control you have. So risk goes up, control, control goes down the higher up you go. So let's say control here. Control goes down the higher up you go. Up here, this is going to be cryptos, typically mutual funds, and really honestly, some stocks are going to be up here. Um, and really, what it comes down to is how much control do you have? How much risk do you take? How much control do you have over the CEO of a company who may or may not make wise decisions, who they might be rogue and do some crazy stuff, and that stock takes a hit. Cryptos are very volatile. I mean, it's the Wild West out there. Mutual funds are simply a basket of stocks, typically a basket of equities. So it could have tens, hundreds, or even thousands of equities or stocks in a pool, and they call those mutual funds. They package them up and they sell it, and so you can buy a portion of that mutual fund. But honestly, how much control do you have over economic conditions? How much risk are you taking by putting your money in something that you have no control over? I mean, the only control you have is being able to get out of it. You can sell it typically. There's typically always a market for those things. So having a good, solid, stable foundation is vital, and it allows you to do some of these other things, and it allows you to take some of these risks depending on the interest rate, or excuse me, the rate of return that you're looking for. Some of these areas, real estate produces oftentimes phenomenal rates of return. Stocks and cryptos obviously can produce stellar rates of return. Businesses produce stellar rates of return. Your savings, your foundation is not expected to produce a high rate of return because its purpose is safety, it's protection. And so there needs to be a distinction here into the type of asset that you're putting your money towards. Is it an investment? Is it a protection component? Is it a savings vehicle, or is it an investment? You would never expect your bank savings account to produce 10% rates, because you would expect it to be liquid. You would expect it to be available. Where investments, real estate, oil and gas, syndications, some of these other things, they're less liquid, and you would expect a higher rate of return because you're taking on more risk. So it's vital to distinguish the difference between savings and a protection component and wealth building and an investment component. Now, both your protection component and your investment components would be uh, all of it contribute to wealth building. They just have different jobs, and it's vital to distinguish where your money's going so that you can make sure that you have a balance of protection and wealth accumulation vehicles. Uh, Hope this helps, and appreciate you watching. Please like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.